Shanghai has one of the world's busiest harbors, with nearly 150 boats a day carrying crude oil and chemicals. Those cargoes pose a potential threat not only to the overall environment, but to the safety of the city's drinking water. Our reporter Xu Fangliang takes a closer look at what the city is doing to guard against the potential hazards.
Less than 4 months ago, the Dutch-registered cargo ship Maxima leaked more than 100 tons of heavy fuel into the sea just off Shanghai after bumping into a Chinese vessel. The leak polluted the coastal park in Pudong and the beach in Jinshan district. It took more than 1,000 people and 50 oil spill response vessels to clean it up. Cao Zhong was in charge of one of them.
I headed towards the accident site right after I got the order. I worked from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day, but it still took us 4 days to finish cleaning up the leak.
Maritime officials say the Maxima was responsible and have ordered its owner to pay at least 100 million yuan in compensation. Experts say it will take years to sort out the payments. But however long it takes, some of the pollution will be around even longer.
Oil can be cleaned, but not completely.
The
oil will disperse and evaporate, but a small amount will permanently stay in the waters. During the cleanup, the dispersant we use can lead to another kind of pollution, and if we burn the oil, we just transfer the pollution from the water to the air. So considering the unstable tide, wind, and other complicated situations, it is actually impossible to completely clean up the oil.
But what really worries people like Feng is that Maxima case is not an isolated one. Numbers tell the story. In April, official records show 200 kilograms of fuel and oil spilled into the waters around Shanghai. In May, it was 10 tons. In June, 114 tons. But oil isn't the only problem. 27 million tons of chemicals pass through the Yangtze and Huangpu River channels here every year.
Compared with oil, we are more worried about chemical spills because there are thousands of different kinds of chemicals. For example, some are soluble in water, some are not. It's almost impossible for us to deal with the spills. So what we have to do is to prevent accidents, especially in the areas near the city's reservoirs.
The problem is that the city's main source of fresh water, the Qingcaosha Reservoir, is just at the mouth of the Yangtze River. It opened nearly a year and a half ago and now supplies more than 60% of Shanghai's drinking water. But while the potential for pollution is there, so far nothing has happened.
We're not too worried. First, we have barriers against pollution. And secondly, the water stored in this reservoir could last for 20 days in case no water comes in because of pollution. And even if the pollution is too severe, we still have the Huangpu River as a backup.
Wang also tells ICS that whenever the Shanghai Maritime Safety Center notifies that a ship carrying dangerous chemicals is sailing near the reservoir, the staff here will pay more attention or even shut off the water intake. But he says the less need for all the safety precautions, the better. Cargo vessels are taking their own precautions as well. For example, all ships carrying more than 600 tons of goods are now required to have an oil defense boom around their hulls to prevent any leak from spreading. The Shanghai Maritime Center has asked all ship owners to have contracts with a qualified spillage response organization so that any leak can be cleaned up as soon as possible. But maritime experts point out that small boats carry fuel too, and don't always follow the same rules as the bigger cargo vessels and tankers.
As a responsible company, we try our best to have no impact on the sea. But it is so hard to keep an eye on the small boats, since the sea is so big, but they spill pollution into the ocean all the time.
Maritime authorities say they're powerless to supervise the spills from smaller boats, and say it all depends on the self-awareness of their crews. But that also means there is no guarantee that reservoir managers will get word of a small spill, which means that some pollutants could very well end up in the water that goes to most of our homes. Xu Fangliang, Shanghai Live.